Today on For What It's Nerd, we will be talking about the new leaked images for Avengers Secret Wars. Now, funnily enough, this episode could have been a number of things. We could have talked about Shrek 5, we could have talked about the Andor trailer, but then that was all blown out of the water by these leaked images dropped by someone who has been working for Marvel for a number of years, and now that site is being cleansed, it's been purged. Very interesting. You've probably seen those images. I am not going to show them in this video. You can go and find them, but I will discuss those images and what it means for Avengers going forward. First off, let's say that we see Doom and we see a very good rendition of Doom. And also, let's just say before we go into this, actually, this is probably the most important thing, grain of salt. Always have a grain of salt with these things. You never ever know what's actually going to be in the movie, and concept art has burned people before, but it does give an idea of where we're going with this. So let's keep both sides of that in mind. And so we see Doom, and I have reservations even despite this concept art, because we know that Doom is going to be played by Robert Downey Jr., and I don't know if I'm I'm not feeling that. I know I'm not. So that I'm still dubious on, just from the standpoint of continuity and what that's going to mean, etc. Anyway, aside from that, these images look really good. They look really exciting. You've got Doom, you've got him as both himself and then God Emperor Doom, alongside an evil Doctor Strange who's working for him, and his wife being Sue Storm, and what looks like Franklin Richards, as well as Yelena being a knight to Doom, which is very interesting. This is all being taken in like a medieval aesthetic, so like you see a very old kind of throne room, courtroom kind of deal, like as if he's holding court, and I think that was very interesting in and of itself. And then to kind of add to that, you see this Hulk image, this medieval Hulk image, and within that you have Jennifer Walters and you have Bruce Banner, and a whole host of other Hulks that have basically sort of looked to be downtrodden by Doom. There's a lot of other images as well for this movie, including a lineup of what would be the MCU's version of the Young Avengers, with Wiccan, Kate Bishop, Cassie Lang. Star-Lord is there, funnily enough, as well, and Wong to consult the group. Assumedly, America Chavez will probably be part of this, but wasn't in the concept art. So either way, there's a lot of stuff there. There's also some kind of new Black Panther images. Is this how they're going to introduce a new Black Panther to the MCU? Is it going to be Azuri, like the grandfather of T'Challa, or is it going to be a kind of T'Challa 2099 situation or something crazy like that? Like, what's going to happen there? You know, they can kind of capitalize on that 2099 idea currently, because they're seeing that kind of become popular with Rivals, which I know is a game, but it does inform choices, I think, in reverse as well. People are going to be more interested in these characters, and clearly the people at Disney Plus and stuff like that know about this, because that became a whole category on Disney Plus, the characters who appear in Marvel Rivals. Luna Snow appeared in the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show as a little cameo in like a picture, but still, these people know about these characters, they're interested in these characters, and it's becoming more of a forefront for the Marvel brand at the moment. So, as well as that, you see White Vision alongside Star-Lord as well, which is going to be interesting, seeing how Vision factors into this movie. And yeah, very interesting images. Again, the thing that lends credence to this mostly is that the artist who leaked these images has had their website purged, essentially. Very interesting indeed. And I think what is paramount is that they do this story correctly, you know. And a lot of people are concerned they might not, because this is a story, obviously Secret Wars, being adapted from the 2015 comic, and in that comic, it's a story that culminates from, like, it's a Reed versus Doctor Doom story, despite it being a big universal kind of collapse, so to speak, right? It's two universes basically slamming against each other, but it's to do with that kind of dynamic at the center of it. And people are concerned that the Fantastic Four are being introduced basically one movie before, and then they're going to have to kind of powerhouse this next big movie. I think it can still be done depending on what's done in the movies leading up to that. I think, the Fantastic Four might show up in other stuff as well, or there might be a big first act of that movie that like really solidifies those characters again. Maybe it's actually that the Fantastic Four, even though it's called an Avengers movie, the Fantastic Four are like the big first part of that. They might be like the first half an hour to where it's almost their movie, and then these things happen. Who knows? Let's not be quick to judge on that. I do get the critique, though it feels like maybe this is rushed, but we also have to remember that a lot of this is happening because of the Jonathan Majors situation, because of the COVID situation. The MCU basically has had a few rough years, never mind that the Disney leadership changed and the directive as regards how content was to be made was changed, actors strikes, the list goes on. Not saying that excuses, there's still been good media that's come out in those years. That doesn't excuse Marvel fully, but when you're doing a connected universe and then the connectivity starts to fall away or fail you for a number of reasons, it's hard to get back on track. So we'll see how this manages to do that. I feel like they're fast tracking this story so they can start a new slate. A lot of people want that to some degree. Not necessarily a fully new slate, but like basically reset the world to some degree so they can start using some of those concepts they may not have been able to use earlier because of the X-Men not being there, etc., etc. So we're kind of getting to a point where that looks to be happening, of course. And I think I really do like that aesthetic. It gives the idea that Doom is trying to make the world like Latveria, that it's going to be very different to many of the other MCU stuff we've seen, and kind of give us a little bit more of an epic feel without going to, like, it doesn't always have to be up in the heavens, in the space, to feel strong and powerful as a movie, as a finale, right? So hopefully that's where they're going with this. Hopefully that's the plan here. And yeah, I think it's a wait and see situation. I think it's let's see if this concept art was from a first draft. I mean, there's been a lot of changes as well in these kind of movies in terms of who's been directing, who's doing what, but everything's changed again and again and again. So let's not put too much credence in it just yet. But if those images come true, I think it could be a lot more interesting than initially thought. And even despite some of the misgivings, especially surrounding Robert Downey Jr. and the Fantastic Four and kind of where we're at with those, it could still turn into a good movie. So fingers crossed, let's see how it goes. And yeah, let's see about that Fantastic Four movie later this year as well. That's obviously going to kind of inform us a little bit better. So until then, thank you guys for watching, as always, watching and listening, of course. And we'll be back next week to discuss, yep, that's it, Daredevil Born Again. It is starting very soon, 2 days' time, and I can't wait. Until then, thank you guys. I'll see you later.